Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to finally be filming this very overdue video. I am currently 21 weeks pregnant. I will be 22 weeks tomorrow. Wednesdays are my days that I turn another week. So I'm already more than halfway through the second trimester, and I'm just now filming my first trimester recap Q&A video, but I didn't want to not film it, and I thought now is better than never. So now that I'm feeling a little better, have a little more energy, definitely more out of breath, so I will be breathing a lot in this video. I wanted to film it before it got too late and wasn't relevant anymore. So here we are. If you haven't seen any of my other pregnancy content, make sure you go watch that. I have a few videos specifically for pregnancy, so finding out, telling my family and friends, ultrasound vlogs, all the good stuff. Being pregnant has been so fun for me, but we're gonna get into that. Okay, so I asked you guys questions so long ago, a couple months ago, and I'm going to answer them for you. So just a little recap. Like I said, I'm 21 weeks pregnant, having a baby boy, and he is due February 22nd, 2023. So we've got 4 months left, a little over 4 months, which is crazy. And I'm so excited. And yeah, my laptop is over here with all the questions, by the way, so this is where I'm going to be reading them. But first question is, what were the first symptoms that you felt? Before I was even testing at all, the only thing that I noticed was that my boobs were really sore, and this is obviously because they are growing, they're preparing, and it's just crazy because before I was even 4 weeks pregnant, my boobs were already kind of in pain a little bit, just a little sore. But then also that kind of happens around my period too, so it wasn't something that I was like, oh my gosh, my boobs are sore, I know that I'm pregnant. That wasn't it. But that's really the only thing that I don't even want to say made me think I was pregnant, because I didn't know I was pregnant. I didn't think I was pregnant. Go watch my finding out that I was pregnant video if you want to know more about that. But it's really the only first symptom that I had throughout the first trimester. The other only symptoms I really had were nausea, but it was very moderate. I, God bless, never threw up. I never actually got sick. Moderate nausea throughout the day, off and on, which was kind of annoying. And then extreme fatigue. I was so tired. I still am. People say it completely goes away in the second trimester and you feel like a new woman, but I don't feel that way, and that's fine because not everyone's the same. But I still feel very, very tired throughout the day. I don't feel the need to take a nap every single day anymore like I did in the first trimester. I literally slept and took multiple hour naps throughout the day when I was pregnant in the first trimester, but now I can kind of get away with not taking naps some days I need to, but some days are harder than others. And if I have a really, why am I talking about the second trimester? This is the first trimester recap. Sore boobs, nausea, and fatigue were basically my only symptoms. Next question is, what is something you didn't expect with pregnancy? So this is kind of interesting because it's kind of taking an opposite turn on the question, but something I thought I was going to experience a lot with pregnancy is anxiety, because I did struggle with anxiety the past couple years, and it got pretty bad at one point. So I always thought that when I did get pregnant, especially with all the hormones and everything, I would have a really hard time with anxiety during pregnancy, and that's not the case. Obviously there's times where I'm internally worried about, is the baby okay? Especially before I could feel movement and everything, I always wondered am I even pregnant? I don't feel pregnant. This is just weird. But that's something I didn't expect, to not feel anxiety. And I know a lot of people do experience pregnancy anxiety, and my heart goes out to you, because I know that it can be so hard, especially when you're already dealing with it beforehand. And also, this is a happier turn on the question, but just I feel like I can never be sad or upset, because I'm literally growing a baby, and it's one of the most I think the most exciting thing that I've ever gone through. I've always known that I was gonna be a mom and have lots of little babies, God willing, and be a young mom, and I'm 22, and it's just the best thing ever. And every time I get sad about something, whether it's something so dumb and minuscule or something big that I actually have a reason to be sad or upset about, I'm why? I'm so happy that I am pregnant and going to have a baby that it just overrides everything else. And obviously that doesn't happen right away. But whenever I am feeling a little bit sad, I'm definitely able to get out of that slump and just be like, I am having a baby, which is one of the things that I've dreamed about my entire life. I'm just so happy, like so happy about where I'm at. So the next question was on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was the sickness? And like I mentioned before, I never threw up, God bless, and therefore I would say probably like a 3 or a 4. I hate being nauseous. Like, it's probably my least favorite feeling in the entire world is being nauseous. So even when I was nauseous, I was like, this is horrible. But looking back, I'm like, okay, but people have it so much worse. They are curling over the toilet seat 5 times a day, and that's not me, so I need to relax. I would say like a 3 or 4. Next question is, what was your weirdest craving? Honestly, people ask me this all the time, and I, to this day, have not had any weird, like, strange cravings. I've had cravings, but they're not anything crazy, like nothing out of the ordinary. My cravings more so are just like when I hear about a certain food, or like someone tells me they're eating something, or I'm on TikTok and I see someone doing a mukbang of them eating a crunch wrap from Taco Bell, I need it right away. And that's been my problem. But like, I haven't like craved, I don't know, pickles dipped in chocolate, like anything like that. My cravings specifically were all pretty savory, salty. I don't crave much sweet, but I think that's also because when you're nauseous, you don't really want to eat super sweet foods anyways, so maybe that's why. But I feel like all my cravings were pretty salty. Pickles, I love pickles. I've always loved pickles though, but like now I'm finding myself buying them more often and like actually just eating them out of the jar. And then also baked potatoes, which I've always loved potatoes, like every form of potatoes, but I've never actually had the urge to like go to the store, buy potatoes, come home and make a baked potato. You know what I mean? Until pregnancy. And I did that many times in the first trimester. Next question is, what was your favorite part about your first trimester and what was your least favorite part? My favorite part was honestly just how excited Keiko and I are, how excited our families are, and just like how much things change in the first trimester. Like, your whole life changes as soon as you find out that you're having a baby, but really it was like going to those firsts in the first trimester. So like the first ultrasound, the first doctor's appointment, even telling our parents for the first time, telling our families for the first time, telling him even. Like, there are so many exciting things in the first trimester that kind of like slow down in the second trimester and then probably speed up again in the third, when like you're actually gonna have the baby and like all the excitement is there because you're actually going to physically have a baby. But in the first trimester, it's really just you're doing so many exciting things that are like the start of your pregnancy, and I felt like I was always looking forward to something. And I mean, I still am, but I loved that I was like always excited because I was getting like the first little pieces of clothes in, the first like nursery things in. I know I was getting them pretty early, but now I got a head start. My least favorite thing was definitely my energy depletion. Like, I feel like I've always been so go, busybody in like a good way. I always find myself just wanting to do something, and like I was also very good at rest at the same time. But I went from being super busy with college, full-time YouTube, graduation, wedding planning, all that in like literally 5 months, to nothing, and that all being over with, having absolutely nothing to do. Well, not YouTube wasn't over with, but you know what I mean, like all the other work, to having not really any deadlines anymore besides YouTube videos, and being extremely exhausted all the time and having zero motivation to do any ounce of work that I did have to do. That was definitely the hardest part about the first trimester. And also because we did find out literally so early, like 4 weeks, and we didn't get our first doctor's appointment until 9.5 weeks, I believe it was. So just that waiting process was really difficult, because just the unknown of like, am I actually pregnant? Like, how is my baby doing? Is my baby okay? Am I okay? Like, especially because I didn't feel very extreme symptoms. I never really felt super pregnant until we actually went to that first doctor's appointment and saw the baby and heard the heartbeat. Like, that's when it got actually real. So that whole waiting process of like 5 weeks felt like eternity, and it was such a long time. I do want to take a quick second to talk about something I've been loving, which is the Upside app. We all know how insane inflation has been with prices on so many essential things such as gas, especially groceries, anything else. And normally that would mean I'd have to cut back on things that I do love getting, such as grabbing a coffee, eating out, getting a cute new shirt or whatever that may be, but now I don't have to, because with Upside you can actually get cash back on purchasing normal essentials that you would in your everyday life, such as gas or groceries. To get started, all you have to do is download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play. You can use my promo code Willkomm, and you can actually get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more, which is amazing cash back. What could be better? Next, you claim an offer for whatever you're trying to buy on the Upside app. You check in at the business that you're using and you choose which card that you're going to pay with, whether it's a credit or a debit card. You actually cannot use cash for these offers, or you can upload a picture of your receipt later on. The cash appears right in your Upside account and you can cash out whenever you want to, whether it's through bank transfer, through PayPal, or you can use one of their e-gift cards that have literally so many options to all my favorite places. I don't personally have a hard time finding a place to cash out my offers. So easy to use, and it is real cash back, so users are earning actually millions of dollars every single week with Upside, and that's 3 times more rewards than any other loyalty programs or credit card rewards programs, and it's amazing. So you can download the free Upside app and use my code Willkomm to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Thank you Upside for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back into it. Next question is, were you hoping for either a boy or a girl? So obviously we would be so happy with both, as cliche as it sounds, but actually obviously we're gonna have many more kids in the future, and we know we're going to have boys and girls, so we are excited either way. But I have always wanted to have a boy first, like my entire life. I think it's because I have an oldest brother and then 2 older sisters after that, and just having like an older brother figure has been the best thing ever. So I really wanted that for my kids in the future, and the fact that it's just happening. It's crazy that we're having a boy. Keiko is also happy with either, obviously, but every dad wants to have a son, you know, so he was very excited to be having a boy. Out of my siblings, we're the first to have a boy first, and like out of my nieces and nephews, I do have more nieces, so I always just thought that I would have a girl automatically, but then other people were saying, no, you're gonna be the one to have all the boys in the family. So here we are. We're having a boy and we're so happy. Well, I would say we were hoping for a boy, but obviously hoping for either. Next question is, have you started decorating his room? No, we haven't. Especially in the first trimester, we didn't do anything to that room yet. It was still kind of an office for me, even though I didn't use it because I barely did any work in the first trimester. But now in the second trimester, we're finally getting little decor pieces in. We're gonna start painting soon and all that, but in the first trimester we didn't do any of that, not because I felt like it was too early, but more so just because I did not have any energy to do that. Next question, did you have any food aversions? The only things that I could not eat or drink were coffee for a little bit. I feel like the whole first trimester, it just did not sound good to me, especially because I don't like super sweet coffee, but I don't like super bitter coffee, and like I said, you don't want sweet when you're nauseous, so maybe that's why. Yeah, that definitely came back in the second trimester, and now I'm able to enjoy my espresso machine again. So that's exciting. And then also eggs were a complete no-no to me. I feel like I've gone through this before I was even pregnant though. Sometimes I would go through phases of not liking eggs, but in pregnancy it was extreme. I remember Keiko and I went to go get breakfast at one of our favorite places one morning, and I felt nauseous the entire day because I tried to eat an egg there, and I was like, what is going on? Yeah, eggs were a no-no, but that's really it. I could really eat everything else. Next question, I'm currently 7 weeks. When did you have your first doctor's appointment? We had our first at 9.5 weeks. Because the hospital that we're doing our prenatals at makes you come in anywhere between 8 and 11 weeks for your first ultrasound appointment, whatever, and with scheduling and everything, it worked out to do 9.5 weeks. So that's when we had our first appointment. But I know a lot of people can also request to like go in and do just like urine tests or blood work to confirm that you're pregnant, even if it's like too early for an ultrasound and stuff. So you could also do that, I'm pretty sure, or there's so many other routes you can take with pregnancy and prenatals. So different for everyone, but mine is at 9.5. And we were able to see baby on an ultrasound and hear the heartbeat as well. Next question, what was your initial reaction when you looked at the test? Were you in denial? 100%, I was in denial. My first reaction was just like, I'm actually pregnant. Like, I'm finally pregnant, but not because we've been trying forever, but because I've waited for this moment my entire life. So it was just such a crazy feeling to like know, wow, there's actually a baby in my tummy, or deep in my pelvic bone at that time because it was so early. But yeah, just like so many different feelings all at once, all positive feelings, but like just craziness all at once. And yes, I was in denial because obviously I knew that it could happen because we were doing all the things to make it happen, but I didn't think it was gonna happen so fast. We literally found out less than a month after our wedding, and baby boy was definitely a wedding or honeymoon baby. That's all I'm gonna say. Next question is, what apps do you use to track or follow along with your pregnancy? So I actually have a few, and they all serve different purposes, which is why I have more than one. I have a whole folder for baby boy. So the first one I use is What to Expect. This app is just overall I think my favorite one because it tells you all the information, tells you how big baby is. And another thing I love about this app is it has like a community tab, and you can join different like not support groups, but like discussion groups kind of. So I'm in like a first pregnancy group, a baby names group, and a February 2023 babies group. So in that group, people post like forums and like questions or comments or something, and people comment on it, and it's just like a huge community, like kind of like group chat kind of thing, but in like different things. So you can scroll through and find out like what you want to read about, and like if you're going through something similar to someone, it just helps to like read about it also. And then like the first time moms or first pregnancy group chat, not group chat, it's not a group chat, group. I don't know, like if you have concerns, odds are 10,000 other people have the same concern as you because you're all going through it for the first time at the same time. So it's just super helpful. So I highly recommend that one. And then also Pregnancy Plus. I don't use this app for anything except seeing like a 3D version of baby at the time. So here he is at 21 weeks. You can kind of see like what they look like. And it's just crazy how they develop over time. So like from week 9 even, like baby looked like that. It's just insane to see. And there's also like different things about like how baby's growing, how you're growing, that stuff. And then I have The Bump, which is another really good app just for like reading about how baby's developing and stuff like that. So I also like that one, and there's like different like articles on there too, which is cool. So those are all the apps that I use to follow along with like what's going on each week, and yeah, I love them all. And every week I post like a little story update on my Instagram with like how many weeks I am and then what's going on with baby during that week, and it's just so fun to do. It's like my most exciting thing to do on a Wednesday morning. Every time I wake up, take a bump pic and I go through my apps, and it's so fun. Next question is, how did you manage to hide your pregnancy until 11 weeks? So we didn't really hide it from anyone except the internet until 11 weeks. We told like all of our family, all of our friends that we wanted to tell in person beforehand. Yeah, obviously I like wanted to tell everyone so early, and I'm not the type of person to wait until 12 weeks or wait until your second trimester where everything's safer. I don't really believe in that. I believe that a baby has a purpose from the moment it's conceived and you find out about that baby, and that baby means everything to you, even if you're 4 weeks pregnant. So I was totally fine with telling people so early, which we did in person, like to our like real life friends and family, but it was more so that we didn't have our first ultrasound until 9 weeks, and then we had a photo shoot at like 10.5 weeks, and then obviously we got the photos back, and then I posted about it. So it was more so we just didn't have our photo shoot pictures to post. That's why I didn't tell you guys until 11 weeks. So that's that. But that wasn't even the question. Let me answer that question again. How did I manage to hide it? It was kind of hard because I had no motivation to film videos. We had our ultrasound pictures on the fridge, so I had to take those down every time I filmed just in case I accidentally showed that in a video. I had like pregnancy books on the table that I had to put away before I filmed. I couldn't really tell you guys when I took 5-hour naps during the day when I was filming a day in the life because people would get suspicious. I couldn't say when I was feeling sick or nauseous. It was just that type of stuff. I just couldn't really share as much as I do normally, or else people definitely would have known. And I feel like I did a good job at hiding it, even though people said they knew. I don't think you did. Next question is, was this your first time taking tests and became pregnant, or were you checking previously? No, the first time I ever took a pregnancy test in my whole life was my first positive test, and that's like so surreal to me, and I'm so blessed that it happened that way, and God's timing is just perfect. And yeah. Next question is, when did you take your belly button piercing out? So many people had questions about when I was going to take it out and that I need to take it out, and so many people were so concerned, but I didn't feel the need to take it out until I actually had a bump, like started to have a bump, because I didn't want it to start getting caught on things, and I wasn't going to keep it in my entire pregnancy because I didn't want it to like get really bad and like stretch and scar, and like it just doesn't look cute when you're full term with a belly button piercing in, I don't think, because I don't know, it just looks a little strange to me. So I took it out as soon as I started noticing that I was getting a bump, because I don't know, I was over it. Next question is, were you and Kiko planning to have kids earlier? Was it a total surprise? We always wanted to have babies early. It was a surprise that it was that fast, because my anxious mind always thought it would take longer than that, and yeah, but it didn't. So it was a surprise, but not at all at the same time, which is what I always say to people. Next question, did your sense of smell change? I know this is so common to so many people in the first trimester that they have so many smell aversions and like are like hypersensitive with their smell, but that was never me. I could never really smell things extra stronger than normal. I feel like my smell was pretty much the same. This question, people are probably going to be surprised that I'm answering it, but it just says sex while pregnant, and I mean, totally okay to do. In the first trimester though, I had zero desire just because I just wasn't feeling good at all anytime, and when you're not feeling good, you don't want to do anything, let alone doing those things. But that was in the first trimester. Next question is, how has Rocco been with knowing you're pregnant? He's honestly been the same pretty much, other than I think he does really know, because ever since I found out, he has always been laying his head on my belly. I have so many pictures of him, like especially in the first trimester when I'm just laying on the couch completely lifeless. He would come and just lay his head. He's not like a super big cuddler, but I think he is now. Yeah, but nothing else has really changed since then. Next question is, how did your first appointment go? What did it include? Currently waiting for mine. The first appointment actually was pretty long, just because it is your initial appointment. So they did a bunch of exams on me, so I had a pap smear because I was due for one. I did blood work, we did the ultrasound, and it was a transvaginal ultrasound because it was so early, and we listened to the heartbeat. The nurse went over just like standard things that they have to tell you when you first find out you're pregnant. Set up all the future appointments already, which is crazy, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. It's such an exciting but nerve-wracking first appointment because you don't know what to expect, but it was great. That is all the questions that I have to answer for you for my little first trimester Q&A update video. I'm so glad that I finally got around to filming it, because I know you guys have been so curious about what the heck has been going on in my life, and that's that. And now we're already more than halfway through the second trimester, so I'm gonna have to film another one of these soon. But yeah, overall, Kiko and I are just so happy. I'm so excited, and so are our families, and my sister just had a baby a few days ago, not even a week ago, and it's just been crazy to be like, this is literally going to be us in a few months. We're gonna have a newborn baby, and it's so exciting. We're doing so many fun things in the second trimester to prepare, and it's just great. So make sure you follow along if you want to continue following along on my pregnancy journey of my first baby. And I post so many things on my Instagram, so follow me on there and subscribe to me on my channel, because I do a lot of pregnancy content on here too, along with just regular day in the lives. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!